Okay, so you ever feel like paperwork's just like taking over your life?
Absolutely.
You know,
Everyone does.
contracts
Yeah.
and invoices and like reports and all that stuff
Yeah. It just never ends.
never seems to end. But what if AI could, help us out with that?
Yeah, that's a great point. And actually, that's what we're diving into today. Artificial intelligence and how it's like changing the way businesses handle all that documentation.
Exactly.
All that stuff that used to just give us headaches.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Uh,
So the article that we're looking at today actually lays out a really cool 3-step framework
oh, yeah.
for how AI is like tackling this whole document problem.
I like it, frameworks.
Yeah, so it's receive, understand, act.
Okay.
So it's kind of like, teaching a computer to not just like see the document, but
Right.
like actually get it
Yeah, yeah.
and then do something about it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so let's unpack this whole receive stage. Because you mentioned AI is like stepping in to like, handle this ever-growing amount of documents that businesses get. So what makes that such a challenge in the first place?
Well, I mean, just imagine like all the different kinds of documents
Oh, yeah.
that a company has to deal with. I mean,
So many.
you've got contracts, and those could be in like a bunch of different languages. You've got invoices, and everyone seems to have their own format for those.
Okay,
And
that's
then,
good
you
though.
got those handwritten notes that people scribble on like paper forms.
This is
It's
true.
just a nightmare.
Totally.
But the cool thing is that AI systems are actually being designed to handle like all of that diversity.
Wow.
So they can process like all the different languages, recognize the different formats, and even figure out what's going on with like low quality scans.
Okay, that is super impressive.
Yeah.
But I know that the article also mentioned AI tackling like handwritten notes.
Right.
And that's where I kind of get a little skeptical.
Sure.
How reliable is this technology? Like,
Mhm.
can AI actually decipher my doctor's handwriting?
It's a good question. It really does sound kind of like magic.
It does.
AI reading handwritten notes. And to be fair, the technology has come a long way.
Okay.
But it's not perfect. Like, there are actually different types of handwriting recognition that are used here.
Okay.
So one is called OCR, that's optical character recognition, and that one's great for like printed text. But for handwritten notes, it's ICR, that's intelligent character recognition.
Okay.
And ICR has to like deal with all the little variations in how people write,
Right.
like the pressure they use on the pen, even the quality of the ink they use. So there are definitely cases where it might struggle, especially with those, super messy scribbles.
Right. Right. So it seems like even with AI, we humans still have a role to play.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to like those really tough cases.
Absolutely.
But let's move on to the next stage. Understand.
Okay.
So once the AI has received all this information, how does it actually like make sense of it all?
Well, this is where things get really interesting. So the article breaks down this understand stage into 3 key actions. It's digitize, classify, and extract.
Okay.
So first, the AI takes those documents, it doesn't matter if they're digital already or if they're scanned images, and it turns them into like a language it can understand. Then it figures out what kind of document it is. So is it an invoice? Is it a contract? Is it a medical record? And then finally, it pulls out all the important details from it.
Gotcha. So like the AI is basically reading and summarizing these documents for us.
Exactly.
Can you give me an example of like what extracting means in the real world?
Sure. Imagine you have this like mountain of invoices.
Yeah.
The AI can extract like the invoice number, the date, the vendor name, the total amount, do basically all the important stuff you need to like process the payment.
Right. Yeah.
It's like having this super efficient digital assistant that can just blast through data entry with like incredible speed and accuracy.
That's incredible. It seems like that could really like revolutionize how we handle documents. But how does the AI actually get to that level of understanding? The article mentioned a couple of technical terms that it wasn't too familiar with.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot going on behind the scenes. So the understand stage uses some really powerful AI techniques like natural language processing or NLP and machine learning.
Okay.
NLP is what helps the AI figure out the context and the meaning of what's in the documents. And then machine learning is how it learns from patterns and gets better at what it does over time. So it's basically like teaching a computer to read and understand information just like a human would, but at a much faster pace.
That's amazing. But even with all of this, like advanced technology, is the AI perfect? What about situations where accuracy is really, really important, like legal contracts or medical records?
Yeah, that's a great point. And to be honest, even though AI is super powerful, it's not foolproof. So that's why a lot of times there's this human in the loop element, especially in industries where being accurate is like super important.
Think so.
So you might have a human expert, looking over the AI's work just to make sure everything's accurate and to handle any tricky situations that the AI might have trouble with. It's really about finding that right balance between AI efficiency and human expertise.
Yeah, I like that. So it's more of a partnership.
Exactly.
Humans and AI working together.
Yeah, working together.
To make the process like as smooth and as accurate as possible.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we've talked about AI receiving and understanding documents. What happens next? What about this ACT stage?
All right, so this is where the real magic happens. This is where AI goes from just processing information to actually doing something with it. So imagine this. The AI extracts information from an invoice.
Okay.
And then it automatically starts the payment process in your accounting system.
Wow.
Or maybe it spots a potential compliance issue in a contract and sends it straight to the legal team.
Oh, that's awesome. So we're talking serious time savings, fewer errors, and employees who can actually focus on, like, more important strategic work.
Exactly. And this ACT stage goes way beyond just invoices.
Okay.
Like, think about healthcare. AI could analyze patient records and actually help doctors make better diagnoses.
Wow.
Or in law, where it could, sift through tons of legal documents and find the ones that are relevant to a case.
Yeah.
There are just so many possibilities.
That's incredible. It's amazing to see how AI can be used in, all these different fields. So to recap, we've got receive, understand, act, all working together to create a super efficient process. It's like having this army of, tireless, super smart digital assistants. Now, here's a thought for you, our listener. Imagine that AI handled all of your tedious document tasks. What amazing things could you accomplish with all that extra time and energy?
That's a good question.
It is. Think about it.
A lot to think about.
Absolutely. Thanks for listening.
Thanks.